Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing today? What we're going to start with are a few sitting postures, and then moving into what I call mid postures. And then we'll move into some dynamic standing postures, and then, as with most of my classes, really, you know that we come back to some inversions and then some sitting postures to close you down a little bit. After you've had a really nice stretch and you work the body out and you've had a good relaxation, you're just going to feel that much more energized, but also lovely and relaxed for the rest of the day. Let's begin. We're going to start first of all with prayer position. So you're going to come down now onto your mats. Bring the big toes to touch, and then gradually start to come down, very gently releasing the lumbar spine. So if you've been at work all day, you find that you'll need to go into this pose nice and easily. It's a great position, great posture to do when you feel the need to have a nice stretch of your lower back. So as you bring your head down, you're going to crawl little by little, crawl your fingers away from you. Fingers spread out nice and wide, your thumb and index finger at right angles to each other. Now if you find that it's a little bit tricky to get the head to the floor, then just place a block under your head and gradually pulling in one direction from the buttock bones down towards the heels, and in the other direction you're crawling your fingers a little further away from you. So just stretching but also widening and relaxing across there. Can you feel that? Okay. Okay, so from here we're going to go into another very powerful pose, and that's our downward dog pose. So downward dog is one where you are feeling busy in the head, you've had a busy day, you're overthinking things, and in every pose really it has a good purpose. There's always something that it's serving you, whether it's mind, body. So you're going to come down now onto your mats. Hands stretched out in front of you, and remember we're having the hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and the head down. Now you're going to bring your hands back about 2 or 3 inches, keeping them in exactly the same width apart as you had before. Then come up onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees in line with the hips. You may need to adjust your hands once you've gone up into your downward dog pose. But for the moment, just tuck your toes under, lift the knees up, and slowly start to pull the buttocks away and up towards the ceiling. So in order to get the hamstrings and to get the calf muscles a little bit more stretched, bend your left knee, stretch out the right leg. Can you feel those calf muscles stretching? Yes. So remember what we did in the prayer position, we widened across the shoulders. So again, release that space across the shoulders. So nice soft muscles in the face. Look like you're enjoying it, because you are. And the elbows quite close, but relaxing the shoulders. And turning the palms of the hands as far up towards the ceiling as you can. And deep breath. And as you breathe out, coming back into your child pose, resting the arms and resting the wrists. And again, just rounding the back, because it's quite a deep stretch in the back. Again, little fists, tapping the lower back if you feel that helps. Well done. All right, so we're coming up into our standing postures now. So you're going to stand in the center of your mats. And the first pose that we're going to go into is our mountain pose. So bringing your big toes to touch, just getting the quad muscles to work nice and strongly. The pubic bone lifted, tailbone tucked down, so your pelvic girdle is nice and level. And then just like we go into our Shavasana pose, our relaxation pose, you're going to very gently turn the palms of the hands out, And then one of the most important things is really respecting the neck and the head. So retract the chin and just keep those face muscles nice and soft. So this time the left foot is out, the right foot is slightly turning in. Again, nice tilt of the pelvis, shoulders back, arms out, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. So the head dead center in between the shoulders. Then softening that right hip, drop down into the left knee. Glance down at the left knee and check that the knee is directly above the hip. Keep the right hip pull back. Relaxing the shoulders, looking down towards the left fingers and gently pulling the chin back. So just checking as much as you can that that right hip isn't turning too far towards the left. You feel that much more level, Suzi. And then again, just relaxing. And well done, everybody. Slowly coming back out again. So in order for us to go into our final relaxation pose, turning the lights down, keeping everything nice and soft. And you're beginning with the relaxation or corpse position to just let go of everything and giving yourself permission to just focus on your breath and nothing else. So dropping the feet away from the center, allowing the hips to feel nice and relaxed and open. Taking a couple of deep breaths, just letting go that little bit more. So just checking that your feet are slightly wider than hip distance apart. Turn the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. You're just drawing down the shoulder blades and lifting the breastbone up as you bring the chin down towards the chest. Letting go more and more. Softening the muscles in your face, your jaw, allowing space in between the eyebrows, across the forehead. What we're doing, everyone, is we're working in pairs or we're working in threes for the next posture. And we're going to, first of all, so far we've worked on the lunge, we've worked on stretching the arms, and now we're going to work in a sort of a workshop. So one of you will be going into the pose. So to start with, hips nice and level. The right leg comes forward. The left leg stays nice and straight at the back. The shoulders above the hips. And then the arms gently going up. So that's your warrior one pose. Everyone quite clear as to what they're doing? Yeah. Okay, off we go. So to start with, standing at the end of your mats, your right leg comes forward. The left leg steps back into a nice lunge, lifting the back heel up. The hips are nice and level, take the arms up. Now as you start to step forward with the left leg, you're going to drop down and the person in front of you is going to support you. The person at the back is just checking and gently guiding you to bring the hip nice and level. And you'll not necessarily be able to do that. So we're dropping down a little bit at a time, just working towards a little bit at a time. Well done. And everybody coming back out again. Well done. It is hard work. Now, when you go into it with the left side, okay, you're coming through here like this. And as I say, you're gently hopping the back foot in. You keep the knee bent. Get that leg to come and become steady before you go forward and level the hips. So when you're leveling your hips, you may need to bend your knee to get the hips level, to get that leg working and stronger. Now, the next bit of challenge is that you let go of your partner's hands and have a go on your own, but they stay there in case. Well done. So, left leg forward, right heel up. So the back leg is nice and straight, arms straight up to begin with. Don't skip a part of the pose. Bend the left knee if you need to, level up. Good, and if you feel okay, you can let go. And if you feel not okay, you can hold on. Wonderful. Good, and slowly everybody coming back up again. Fantastic, good. So for the final one I think would be quite good for everybody to do, is to either work, so you're going to be working at different levels. You're going to work with, if you can, you're going to work with your foot up on the wall like this. So the toes facing forward, the leg up on the wall, but making sure when you do have the leg up either on a wall or in a moment you can see whether you need to go onto a chair, that actually the gluteal crease is level with each other. So rather than the leg being too high and this part being too high up and squinching and shortening this part, you want to make sure that the hips are nice and level. So the foot on the floor, that's good. The toes facing forward, the hips facing forward, and so nice and relaxed here. Beautiful. Okay. Well done. So we're going to bring the heel back, if you can, a teeny weeny bit more to line up with the hip here. Okay, good, and very gently taking the hips up. Shoulders nice and level, chin level with the floor. Relaxing the shoulders, but bring the arms quite close towards each other. That's much better, isn't it, Holly? Yeah. Good, and really getting those shoulders relaxed there, Andy. There. How's everyone doing? Looking good? Still smiling? So for the next one, you're going to come into a nice forward bend using the wall. So you're going to use the wall with your hands up against the wall, fingers slightly higher than your shoulders, middle fingers nice and level with each other, and imagine you're pushing a dud car up a hill. How about that? So pushing that car up the hill and your buttocks rolling up towards the ceiling, hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart, head, neck and trunk in line, and a bit like we do at the downward dog, the buttock bones rolling up. But you're always keeping this part tucked in nicely, and then head, neck and trunk in line. So the feet, the heels are in line with your hips, the feet hip distance apart, hands slightly higher than shoulder width apart. And you're going to come down a little bit, that's it, a little bit lower, Sarita. Head, neck and trunk in line, rolling those buttock bones up towards the ceiling. Pulling in a little bit more through here and tucking here so that you haven't got so much of a sinking. There, now the head lifts up. Good. So, toes facing forward, pushing that car up the hill. So really opening the armpits. Judith, you can come down a tiny little bit with the hands, a little bit lower. Good. And really, really stretching in the middle of the back. Excellent. Head up a little bit more, hands a little higher. Well done. Pulling those hips back, stretching the hamstrings, stretching the calf muscles. How is that feeling? Can you talk? Is it good? Well done. Excellent. And keeping the head slightly up there. And you're going to have to come out of this really nice and slowly because it's a really deep stretch. Woo. How's that? Good? And shake the arms, shake the legs. Well done. Thank you very much.